Good morning, guys. A very good morning to each and every one of you, and welcome to FYI. Good morning, good morning. How are you folks doing? Another week, folks. Another week, and believe it or not, it's the 20th day already of February. I think it's Carnival in Trinidad. This is the period, Carnival Monday, I think, in Trinidad. Let us know, those of you who are joining us from that side. But good to see each and every one of you. We got our own Mashomani coming up. I hear that, but no carnival in Guyana. Mashomani, full stop. Good to have you, Yolanda Thomas, Beatrice Selby, John Jones, Siobhan. Siobhan was asking for me. Sorry, Yolanda was asking for me. Here I am. It's only because you asked. Only because you asked. Here I am, Beatrice Selby, Tommy Gibbs, and all you other folks who are joining us this morning. The technicians who are on duty, do let us know if you are receiving our audio loud and clear. Let us know that, good folks. We are fired up at this end, and we're ready to go, and we trust that you lovely, beautiful folks are as well. Good to have each and every one of you on with us. Wherever you're joining us from, folks, share that live, smash that emoji button. We're going to make sure that we share to all the right places. We're going to make sure we are shared to all the right places. Right? So what's happening on our roadways? What is happening on our roadways? The carnage continues. And that's one of the things we're going to be discussing this morning. The carnage on our roadways. We've been begging you all, begging. To no avail, slow down. Maybe some of you have been hearing. Slow down and let us arrive alive. We've been begging. How was the weekend, folks? How was the weekend? I am happy. We made it to this new week together. A lot of folks didn't see, but we're here. And I got a lot to be thankful for. Very, very happy that we are here, folks. We outside. Who vex? We outside. And really glad to have all of you wonderful folks here with us today, guys. Share that live wherever you're joining us from. Hope it's a great morning where you are. Marina Cummins, hope it's a good morning where you are. And thanks, Technician Cummins, as loud and clear her. And Timna Ford, mayhem on our roadways. Good to have you guys here, though. Clear Alexis, Charmley, Richmond. Let us know how things are at your end if you're getting us loud and clear. That is what we want. We want loud and clear. Loud and clear is what we want. Good to have each and every one of you beautiful folks here with us, guys. It's a beautiful Monday morning. It's the 20th day of February. As we have said, the 20th day of February. Believe it or not, already the 20th day of February. How you all doing out there, the man? How you all doing? How has life been treating you all? Life sometimes gets the better of us. It gets the upper hand, gets in a couple punches, but I hope you all get in a couple punches as well. Onika Brahma and Debbie Collins and all the other folks who are joining us. Yvonne Ramasar, we hope things are good at your end. Jonathan Abrams, Sean of Fortune, good to see you guys. We're happy, delighted that you folks are here with us. We are delighted. Timna Ford, I see Donald. Good to have you with us, Donald. And all the other folks who are joining us. Great to have you, Donald. I see who else do we have with us? Claire Alexis Charmley. Good to have you here with us, Claire. How do you do, Claire? How do you do, Claire? We trust that you are well. We hope that you are fine, Claire. Love that you guys are here with us, and we hope you guys have a real good week, and not only a good week, a good year. And I've been saying it. We hope you guys make some money this year. Lynn Fernandez and Lena Williams. Good to have you guys on with us. Irvin Don, June Cameron. How are you folks doing? God, I wish I had a whole register. We could call these names individually. I see Neon Harding is here with us, joining us from Atlanta. Can you imagine that? All the way in Atlanta, our little old program, getting all the way there in Atlanta. Folks, we are so privileged. Like you cannot imagine. We are so privileged that you folks are here with us. We are so privileged by that. Yes, Margaret, that's it. Little extra here, we get ready. Little extra. Yvonne, Good to see you guys. How things by y'all? We hope that you guys are great, guys. Take the opportunity, and share the live for us. Smash that emoji button. Y'all know how we do it. We gotta kind of think it in too hard. Y'all know how we do it. Share the live, expose the truth. That's what we're about here. Share the live and expose the truth. And we're going to be showing you this morning some of what is responsible for the carnage on the roads. Sometimes it's the very authorities who are asking you all, to be cautious and exercise all of the C's on the roadways. Sometimes it's the same people, creating a lot of problems. It's the same folks. You think you understand? It's the same people. You must exercise care and caution and consideration and common sense and all of that. Common sense and say common, because the very authorities having some problems. The very authorities. But folks, as we begin our program this morning, we crave your indulgence. Share that live for us. Smash that emoji button for us. And why not let us get the housekeeping out of the way? An important part of our program. But let's get the housekeeping out of the way. And then we're going to come back, guys. We're going to come back and have a go at it with our program. But good to see each and every one of you. Wherever you folks are joining us from, we'd have you know, if you need a justice of the peace, a commissioner of votes affidavits, the Alistair Collins firm is the one for you. Get all the answers you need, guys, with the Alistair Collins firm as commissioner of votes to affidavits and a justice of the peace. Alistair Collins provides expert guidance and support for all the documentation needs. Expert guidance and support for all the documentation needs. They are open Monday through Saturday. I love that they're open Saturdays at the Kylan Mall. The Kylan Mall, there on Lamaha Street between Camp and Waterloo. 649-6410. Again, they're open Mondays through Saturdays at the Kylan Mall on Lamaha Street between Camp and Waterloo. 649-6410. Highly recommended. And while we're on that, folks, we encourage you guys as well to partner with us. You all know we can't do these programs without your love, your support, your generosity. This is how we go from day to day, week to week, month to month, program to program. This is how we do it, folks. This is how we do it. We review via Cash App and Zelle and PayPal, MoneyGram, Western Union, all for your convenience. We don't say it in a braggadocious way, but all of these platforms are for your convenience of helping to support our program and moving us forward. And that's it. Where housekeeping is concerned, we are happy to be back with you guys, to be here with you guys this morning. Another Monday, another day, and we out front, folks. We out front. Good to have you guys. Why don't we head into the morning papers? If you all are ready, we are ready. Head into the morning papers and let's see some of what's happening, some of the headlines out there, and feel free to share one of the headlines by your end with us, please. If you all are papers people, I know with so much internet and that kind of stuff, people have come away from the physical newspapers. We still love it. As a student and a practitioner of journalism, I love the physical newspaper. I love it. I deliberately don't subscribe to some of them online, just so that I'm forced to go out there and to pick up a physical copy of the newspapers. I love it. Some of the things we're following, guys, that we think you ought to know about, that we want to bring you all up to speed on. Some of the things, we can talk some of them. Yep. Good to have you guys here. The whole front page of Sabbath News this morning is to oil and gas and, talking about this oil refinery, the whole front page of Sabbath News. Dr. Thomas saying that, the administration has not made a case as yet for having a national oil refinery. They have not made a case. And, if oil's so nice and oil's so sweet and it's nice time, how does the private sector invest? Why does the private sector invest in an oil refinery? If oil is nice and oil and gas right now here in Guyana it's the best investment you could make, why does the private sector get involved in that? and run with that. I see them running with hospitals and shore base and every other thing. Run with our refinery. Get the guys people at ease that some of them money we can put in our refinery come back into the pockets of everyday Guyanese. Yeah. Run with it. Run with that, folks. One of the first headlines we see in the morning papers. Check this one out, guys. Check this one out. You seeing that? You're seeing that? Vanessa De Silva, good to see you. And Vashti, good to see you, Vashti. Candy Nalina Legit, out front parts. Orinda, I come to the top of the headlines. I give them folks a shout out. Tommy Gibbs, Donna Joseph. Yep, last Friday they were telling us at Woodley Park, some folks, young people, teenagers, went into the school and beat up on some students, hurled abuses at them and physically assaulted them. And again, the Ministry of Education is saying, they're going to keep putting measures in place to protect its students and teachers in that school environment. And clearly, not enough has been done since we saw what happened at Graham's Hall Primary and St. Angela's Primary as well. Now, there was a repeat of that, but in this instance, it's not parents. Teachers, they say, teenagers rather, they say, went into the school there at Woodley Park and beat up on some students. Yeah. Beat up on some students. And one night students gathered on the road and it was a big fight, a big pashway. And we felt if we didn't intervene, that could have been ended worse. When I say fight, it's knife play and cutlass and a whole manner of things. We can't see our children going down the road and just leave them and say, oh, it's somebody bought you and let me go to business. But together we got to solve some of these problems like we're seeing here at Woodley Park. That's not how children and teenagers should be operating. No. And we can just sit back and say, it's this generation. Let it go like that. No, we're not going to allow it. We got to fight for the kids. Fight for our children. We got to keep on. We got to keep on doing that, folks. And this is another one of those headlines we are following in the morning papers. Here's yet another one of them. The GGMC, y'all remember that old GBC building on High Street there? That controversial building, they what's the white telephone? Because the current administration in their last iteration of governance, pre-2015, they'd given that building over as a contract to someone of their friends, family, and favorites. And the work was so poorly executed. That building there, the old GBC building, it's a monstrosity now, was never ever habitable. Was never ever habitable. Now they're going to make an attempt to move the Guyana Gold and Miners, the Guyana Geology and Mines Commission rather, into that old GBC building on High Street. Yeah. So we're going to watch that and see, because that building has been across since, again, handing it to one of the friends, family, and favorites, been across. Nothing but across. And we're going to see how that goes. You all remember the old GBC building there on High Street? You all are so tech-savvy people now. Vanessa and Marvin Schultz, Dolly and Anna Phillips. You all must even know was a radio. It's me talking about this old timer. Radio. Right. My son did that to me. It still hurts me till this day. I was telling my son, when I was his age, we didn't have Netflix and Amazon Prime, Disney Plus, and all of that, and they do not seem to be able to live without it. Right? I have it for them. I don't know when last. Well, my wife and I caught a movie over the weekend, but before that was a couple of weeks since we watched a movie. You're just busy. Right? He said, "Daddy, you only have Netflix." Huh? He said, "You're an old timer." You see what I mean? You see what I mean? You make the chair, don't make the mind. I know if I had BT Songly, y'all would forgive me. I know, little Jacobs, if I had BT Songly, y'all would forgive me. He said that he's an old timer. You see? Y'all had Netflix and Disney Plus. I said we didn't even have tablet. right? And televisions used to have a big back. Yeah, and in that big back, you had your flight back transfer. He said, Daddy, you're an old timer. I said, well, look, story here now. You know? Look, story here now. Look why I can keep it off on the front page of Kaiser News and myself with a mortgage charge. Yep. GGMC, they're going to the Ghana Broadcasting old building there in High Street. I see some of you said that you all have remembered it. Orindon says, a set of crap they're doing. Orindon, I endorse that message. I endorse that message. So we can see how that goes, folks. We're going to keep our fingers crossed and see how that goes. Here's another headline that we're following, guys. Look at that one. Norton says, leader of the opposition, Aubrey Norton, leader of the PNCR, says that he's going to block. He's not going to support Hickens as to be confirmed as Commissioner of Police. He's not going to enforce that. He's not going to endorse that. And this was at a meeting over the weekend on St. Road, close to East Repentance Market there. Or just on the outside. He's not gonna help to confirm Hickens. Right? Isn't Hickens supposed to be Commissioner of Police acting? Clifton Hickens, is he supposed to be on pre-retirement leave? And some folks pointed out over the weekend just even some photographs that they put up in government buildings and so on. They saw one where he's just referred as Commissioner of Police. You know? Not even acting, just Commissioner of Police, but he has not been appointed. He's been appointed to act. And over the weekend, how do you guys feel about that? Over the weekend, Mr. Norton saying that he's not going to support his confirmation. And the president needs that. He needs meaningful consultation with the leader of the opposition. And the leader of the opposition says he is saying no. He is saying no to that. You know, for a number of years, we contemplated having a commissioner of police from overseas. Bring somebody who is really independent. But them boys won't want that. We would shock a professional putting them there when they see the level of interference that comes from this administration. To cajole and to persuade them to take certain course of actions. So we haven't been able to do that. You think people want problems? Professional people want problems? But Hickens, people call us all the time. Policemen, high-ranking policemen in the Ghana police force, they said, Uncle Hickens are going for a leave. If people are not leaving the system, Angelian, Glenford, Tommy, Urban, how can others be elevated in that system? Angeli, Glenford, Gordon, how can other people be elevated in that system? If some people don't want to move, they're just there. They're just there. And folks are asking, isn't it time? Isn't it time? I said, make it Hickens and me 55. Isn't it time for me to go to pasture? Well, we're gonna watch. We're gonna watch and see how that goes. All right, here's another headline we're following, folks. Another headline we follow. The EPA, in their usual way, have waived an environmental impact assessment for a GWI, Ghana Water Incorporated, solar powered treatment plant. No surprises there because this is their modus operandi. They wave and wave and wave and wave and wave. Tim the Fourth says Hickens is not fit for the post. He's incompetent and unprofessional. Yeah. We see that. Strong sentiments. We've got a lot of strong sentiments with the EPA as well. They're waving. All of these EIAs. What's the matter with them? What's the matter with these folks? Please and thank you. The environmental impact assessment is an important feature, an important due diligence aspect that helps to safeguard your interests, my own, the environment, future generations. Well, they waive it for the GWI solar power plant. They waive it. Right? It's again, this is the norm now. Right? More than the exception, it is the norm. So that's one of the other things we are tracking, guys. And finally, in issues, headlines pulling out of the morning papers, we see this one. Right? A man has been shot in New Amsterdam after threatening to chop his mother. You see how the university? You all see how the university? Just like that. Just like that. You know, they're telling us that he's 26. 26 and currently worried at the New Amsterdam Public Hospital. Just Saturday, he was threatening to chop his mother, they tell us. Hospitalizes Desmond Griffith, called Andrew Blacks. Desmond Griffith called Andrew Blacks. And it is alleged that that Damien Morgan, 24, of Fort Ordnance, right? Desmond Griffith, right? It is alleged rather that Damien Morgan of 24 Fort Ordnance Housing Scheme was assisting his father to spray a vehicle when Griffith entered the area with a cutlass and threatened him. The report says that Morgan escaped from Griffith, but soon after returned with a small black gun and discharged several rounds at Griffith. The bad man collapsed and was taken to the hospital. Yeah. Yep. It's sad, folks. It's the wild, wild west. It's the wild, wild west. You know, the wild, wild west. The headline is right there. New Amsterdam man shot, hospitalized after threatening to chop another. Moving on. Universe was swift. The universe was swift, folks. The universe was swift. Please and thank you. Y'all stop threatening people, man. Stop threatening people. Can't we just all get along? Can't we just all get along, good folks? Can't we just all get along? Some of y'all know your label. You all know your label, folks. But let's get into some of the things that are happening, some of the things that are brewing internationally, some of the things that are brewing in the region, and some of the things that are brewing locally as well. And this is where we're going to turn our attention this morning, folks. The things that are brewing internationally, regionally, and locally. And there is where we start from. And those of you who have been following this particular story, the Nicola Bully story, would know that the young lady went missing. Have we gone too far? The young lady went missing some time ago. Her husband has been one of those suspects, but they're telling us today that her body was found by some dog walkers just a short distance from where she was reported missing. Just a short distance. This one's a little tricky because I thought they had searched all of that area already. For those of you who have been following, I thought they searched this area already. Right? Her body was found within a mile of where she was reported missing, where she herself went walking some dogs and went missing. Yeah. We're happy that her body was found to the extent that her family can begin to get closure to this whole issue. This has been one of those disappearances that really and truly captured the attention, the imagination of folks living in the US. Captured the imagination, and now her body was found within the last 24 hours. Thoughts and prayers with her family, folks. And where we preempted you just now, President of the US, Joe Biden, made a surprise trip to the Ukraine. And in that visit, folks, he's been touting the solidarity of his country and government with the people of Ukraine. Yeah, touting the solidarity and pledging to support Ukraine even more. That's one of the things we're following. And in a report, it says here that he said that he traveled to Kiev to meet with the Ukrainian president, Mr. Zelensky, to reaffirm our unwavering and unflagging commitment to Ukraine's democracy, sovereignty, and territorial integrity. Surprise visit, reaffirming the US's unwavering support, unwavering and unflagging commitment to Ukraine's democracy, sovereignty, and territorial integrity. Yep, that's how you do it when you got your own plane. That's how you do it when you got your things. That is how you do it. That is how you do it. And clearly, Biden is a boy with the things. Yep. Folks, the Russians didn't bargain for this lengthened war, you know. They didn't bargain for it. Moving on, folks, we got a lot of ground to cover. A lot of ground to cover. And a fear that has been expressed by the U.S. Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken, is that China might now begin supplying Russia with arms and ammunition. Because you know Russia's been on the back foot there out front parts. He's been on the back foot. Back foot in this war with Russia, with Ukraine. Right? Out front parts says he went to see his son. I just happy. But again, the U.S. expressing its concern about China supplying the Ukraine with arms. I thought Russia had a better army than this. But see what's happening there. The Ukrainians are repelling them at every turn. Moving on, folks. This is one of the things, guys, happening regionally. One of those things that's happening regionally. Big storm there, guys. Big storm in Brazil that has killed thus far about 26 persons. Big storm. Killed about 26 persons there in Brazil. And of course, it's one of the things we're following. The Brazilian authorities are putting measures in place to safeguard the people. But the sheer force of the storm, 26 dead. In Sao Paulo, Brazil, 26. Thoughts and prayers, of course, go out to our Brazilian brothers and sisters. This too shall pass. Thoughts and prayers to the family of the bereaved as well. Thoughts and prayers. This too shall pass. Look at what's happening in the region. You all thought our elections got a lot of litigation? That's what you all saying. Well, I will have you all. I will not have you all. Right? You have in Antigua and Barbuda, they come out of a very, very contentious electoral period. And Ascot Michael, who was a former supporter of the government, took them to court because of inconsistencies and irregularities in his constituency, and now ends up in Parliament as the first independent parliamentarian in the history of Antigua and Barbuda. The first independent. It says it's the first time in Antigua's history that an independent candidate has been sworn in as a member of parliament. Right? But it's not without a lot of legal battle. And there are other cases, they tell us, right now in the court system regarding issues with that election there in Antigua and Bermuda. But we want to congratulate the government. You know, we said it here before that Gaston Brown won another term. I think it's his third consecutive term, and history, even in that right, his third consecutive term. And like we want for ourselves, we want to see the people of Antigua and Barbuda develop and become. All right? But you had folks like our AG who tries to give the impression because the coalition, APNU, AFC, take a matter to court, like if somehow that is sinful, but when they carry matters to court, or they must be allowed. Well, Antigua's election is not without its own quota, right? Not without its own quota of these kinds of setbacks, right? And as I said, they have another, among others, cases in the, among other cases in the court system. Right? They have another matter such as that, winding its way through the court system. Yep, believe it or not, that's one of the other things we are following, guys. And so good luck to the folks there, and congrats to all of those persons who were elected to office at the national level there in Antigua and Barbuda. Respect and manners to them. Respect and manners to them. In Trinidad, there was a double murder over the weekend. Arapita Avenue. Michelle Montana had a huge concert there the night before. I think in the wee hours of Saturday morning, 2 men were gunned down, execution style, in that very area, Arapita Avenue, in Trinbago. Yep, in Trinidad in particular. Again, violence in the region continues that uptick. And we're seeing it here more and more. But we only got gun violence and so on. We got the carnage on the roads, waterways, you know. This whole administration, it's carnage in their own right. Right? And they're telling us this morning, the Express newspaper out of Trinidad says there have been no arrests yet in that double murder over the weekend. 2 men gunned down on that street. Yep, telling us they don't have any arrests yet. No arrests yet in that vein. No arrest as yet. It's not one of those issues we're looking at. Are we in Cuba? In Cuba, I think it's the final one for things that are happening in the region. The Cuban authorities are telling its people, brace for more blackouts. They didn't learn from South Africa, you know. Brace for more blackouts. Aging power plants are to be overhauled. Right? Brace for more blackouts. Well, I think that's a government policy. Brace for more blackouts. Let's see how it goes. In Cuba, you know, this is a big issue in South Africa. People want to overthrow the government because of blackout. Because of blackout. Cuba telling its people, brace, hold it over. Take a brace. Cuba, that's what's going on. Yep. Believe it or not. Believe it or not. And then finally, folks, this is the final one. Right? Canada says, we send in a Navy vessel to help you all bring some of this gang violence under control. A Navy vessel is heading to Haiti from Canada. Yeah. Correct is right. Correct is right. You know, and CARICOM, I didn't hear anything out of the CARICOM heads of government meeting during last week on Haiti, but we're going to circle back to that later on. Trying to be a hero and put in everything we owe you guys, even though we had a slightly late start. Right? So congrats to Canada for that. Look, one of the things we're following here. This teenage wife, 18 years old, who stabbed her 27-year-old husband to death over the weekend. Her mother said she came into the apartment they shared and saw the daughter stabbing him several times to his chest. Several times to his chest. Folks, oh boy, that carnage, waterways, roadways, against women and girls, right? That carnage, we got to watch that. You know, and I wish we would do some more comprehensive things to stem that tide every day. You know, the rate of domestic abuse keeps going up. Keeps going up. Then we have here this young lady who just yesterday at a house in Region 2, you know, was involved in this terrible, 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 real tragedy here. Real tragedy. Real tragedy. Her husband, they say, was 27 years old. She was 18. And from one of the reports that we read, she had just come in. The mother said she saw her head in to where the apartment was and missed her for a little bit. And then stumbled on this scene. Right? Here, what one report says, that the couple were attending the grandmother's birthday celebrations on Saturday night when an argument ensued. The wife reportedly left the party but returned later. The young woman, it is alleged, went searching. It's understood that the couple was attending the grandmother's birthday. That's where we were. The young woman reportedly went searching for her husband inside to where they lived. Right? Looking for him. His name is given as, is it Shivraj? Shivlal, the deceased. And then, as I said, the grandmother, after missing her for a little bit, went in search for her and stumbled on this scene where she was stabbing, allegedly, Shivlal, stabbing him. Yep. Thoughts and prayers with their community and the family. Right? And we're definitely going to have more details on that shortly, folks, because that's a developing story. Right? Happened overnight. That's one of the things we're following locally, guys. One of the things we're following locally. Now, here the age abusing out the judiciary, that they're not paying enough regard, completely ignoring the statutory time frame for issuing decisions. Isn't it the same fellow who the Chief Justice, if not the President of the Court of Appeal locally, told the other day that a lack of appointment of judges is preventing them from doing this very thing? Now, the government, through its Judicial Service Commission, will have the authority to appoint judges to ease the workload. To ease the workload. But that's not being done. It is not being done for all intents and purposes. And hence we get the very problem he's complaining about. The very problem. Judges rather completely ignoring the time frame for written judgments. Yep. Complaining. One of the things we're following, guys. And then we have our very own Marvin Williams, and a strong letter in the press. This on the sale of carbons, right, as being a contempt for indigenous people, for Amerindians, without their consent, without even their input. You remember we showed you last week when the two showers met and village leaders for them to tell them, oh, next week we can start giving you all the money from the carbon credits. And what one man asked? Right? Who agreed to the 15%? How y'all come to the 15%? That's what he was asking. How y'all meet there? Former member of parliament and former advisor to the Ministry of Amerindian Affairs, Marvin Williams. He said it exposes the contempt for the for the indigenous people, the contempt of the Ali administration for the indigenous people. Yeah. And the other side now, still oil and gas. Right? That shore base, the Wales Gas to Shore project. The Wales Gas to Shore project. Attorney at law and accountant Christopher Ram says that this $400 million set aside, right, for the acquisition of those lands in the part of the pipeline, he says insulting to the people who've lived there their whole life, own those lands. They come now to acquire compulsory acquisition, those lands, right? To compel them to give it up so they can run the pipeline. He said, what they want to compensate the people is peanuts. What they want to compensate them is peanuts. It's peanuts. And then Sabbath News, our graphic seems a little off. Here in the editorial, again in oil and gas, talking about this contract that they promised to renegotiate, but that they've been avoiding the production sharing agreement of 2016. The production sharing agreement of 2016. The administration had promised to renegotiate. They're running from that. Here's Sabbath News this morning saying, convincing Exxon that it has to return to the table to improve the terms for the people of the PSC of 2016, right? Bringing them to renegotiate, that's what Sabbath News is saying, right? The terms for the people of this country requires determined action by the Ali administration. But for some inexplicable reason, Sabbath News, it prefers to see the benefits due to the people of this country carted off in the billions of US dollars by Exxon and its partners. Yep. Instead of renegotiating the contract, they would rather see billions. Sabbath News said, carted off. That's an indictment. The carnage on the road continues, folks. The carnage on our roads and waterways continue. We keep saying here, slow down, good folks, and let me arrive alive. Slow down, and let us arrive alive. Right? Slow down and let me arrive alive. But is that being heard? Is that getting through? Slow down and let us arrive alive. We saw a car smash into the fence of what is the building? Grand Coastal over the weekend. Right? Smash into that fence of Grand Coastal. Now, we should be practicing care and caution, consideration, courtesy, and common sense, the 5 C's. But that clearly, folks, it's not being adhered to. So the carnage continues. The carnage on our roadways continues. It continues. Look at some of what we saw yesterday morning. Grand Coastal. Look at some of what we saw.
An accident in the wee hours of Sunday morning, February 19, 2023, obliterated a huge portion of the fence of Grand Coastal Inn on the East Coast. The fence was recently rehabilitated. From surveillance footage seen by this publication, a driver proceeding at a fast rate east on the public road lost control of his vehicle, smashing into the fence. Our publication was reliably informed that there were no fatalities and the driver of the vehicle fled the scene. Guyana has some of the most dangerous roadways in the world. The police force recently said that road safety is a shared responsibility. Drivers and commuters are reminded to practice the 5 C's of road safety daily: care, caution, consideration, courtesy, and common sense.
Yep, the carnage on our roadways continue. And that was yesterday morning, folks. That was yesterday morning. Now we encourage you, indulge us, share the live, smash that emoji button so that folks get valid and credible information. That was just yesterday morning. By last night, and mind you, as we're on that particular area there, just a few short weeks ago, a few short months ago, a young man lost his life on the very opposite side of that street, of that road, in that very area there, smashing into a fence on the other side of that road. Lost his life. And now, Saturday morning into Sunday, Saturday night rather, into Sunday morning, that accident there that took out the wall, obliterated the wall of Grand Coastal Inn. Obliterated that wall there. We say slow down. We told you earlier on that sometimes it's the very administration, the very authorities that should be working to mitigate, alleviate this kind of foolishness on the road. They're the ones responsible. They are the ones responsible. Now, we told you Saturday night into Sunday morning. Saturday night into Sunday morning, that took place outside Grand Coastal. Last evening, yesterday afternoon, last evening, at Liliendal, this is what we saw. At Liliendal, forgive, some of my language, I'm the grog there. But this is some of what we saw at Liliendal yesterday evening. At Liliendal, folks. Look some of what we saw at Liliendal. Guys, a very good evening. Anybody still in there? Oh, oh shit. Where the car was? Accident here at Liliendal, just after the old Medex complex on Liliendal here. Car ended up in the ditch. That's the situation here, folks. A car has turned over in the ditch here. We're being told the guy has already been taken to hospital.
I just God, people come to God if you know God. I'm probably now, but you got to turn to God if you know God.
Is your relative? Is your relative?
No, me care.
Is you car?
Yeah, you rent the car.
Oh,
You say your family, your wife directly.
You rent the car from you?
You buy the car, have to
and this is family here?
yeah.
How is he doing?
Girl, I'm go hospital to see.
The owner of the car there, he said the driver rented the car from him. Kinda rented, he said. And this is what has transpired here.
You see the sign out there? That's what caused the accident. The sign on the road.
Mhm.
The sign.
Oh, the sand on the road.
Yes, the sign on the road.
Folks, the woman is saying the sand on the road caused this accident. You know, that's what the woman is saying. The sand on the road. There's a lot of sand on the road here that doesn't have any reflector on them.
The sun is sweeping.
Uh-huh.
The sun is sweeping and then you end up to another car. So you have to end up in.
Oh, I see. My God.
Really move on.
My God. How is he doing though? How is he?
I don't know if we go in the
Hospital. All right. I hope everything works out. We got some sand on the road up this side indeed. The family is seeing some sand on the road, and there are a lot of sand on the highway here with actually no reflectors on them. Just piles of sand. That is a traffic hazard. Here are these piles of sand on the road and on the roadway here. And the road is very poorly lit here. So Ministry of Infrastructure, you gotta do something. And there's another pile of sand up this side here. Folks, something has got to be done about this. Just piles of sand. The family said he was trying to avoid. Yeah. Piles of sand on the road. Look where the line is on the road, and the sand is beyond that. And I think this is the sand that the people are working in the median on the road, doing the concreting there. So we're walking back up to where the Medex complex used to be, just before you get to the COVID hospital. And we're on the highway. just approaching Lillian Dahl. And the relatives are saying he was trying to avoid the sand. See that? And ended up in the drain, in the trench, in the ditch. Some of the relatives here.
How would I write this everything?
Ay, kapiti, pasok ka. Dahil, nailays nyo na eh.
Inside my pocket.
Nailays mo na eh.
All right, folks, that's going to do it for us at this end. Thanks for joining us on Credible Sources. Valid, credible information you guys saw for yourself. Just piles and piles of sand, and that area there is dimly lit. I mean, what kind of foolishness is that? What kind of stupidity operating there? That is absolute madness. Absolute madness. Not so? Janet Elias, Yvette Madu, Naomi Drucker, is not madness? Piles and piles of sand on the road. And as you saw, way out on the road. So Saturday morning, Saturday night into Sunday morning, was that accident there at what's the name of the place? Grand Coastal Inn. And then just on the road last night, just on the road by the COVID hospital. You see why we say Guyana has some of the most dangerous roadways in the world? Some of the most dangerous roadways in the world. Wow. Wow. That's how we can say. Wow. Wow. Folks, we encourage you, share the live and expose the truth. Share the live, guys, and expose the truth. That's going to do it for us and our time with you folks this morning. Valid, credible information. Look the madness by Grand Coastal. Look the madness by the COVID hospital. And that's just one stretch of road, you know. One stretch of road. Grand Coastal is less than 10 minutes from the COVID hospital. One stretch of road, same day. The carnage continues on our roadways. We got to slow down. Each of us have that responsibility. Slow down and let me arrive alive. Slow down and let us arrive alive. Slow down. Annette Cummins and Marvel Schultz, Jolly Anderson, Yvette Madu, Valme Wilson. Slow down, guys. Slow down, and let me arrive alive. Hundreds of you still watching our morning program. We're so privileged by that. Take the opportunity, guys, to have more persons engage our content. Share the live, smash that emoji button, and let me go down. Share that live, guys. Smash that emoji button. Good morning, Valme Wilson. Thanks for joining us. Leonard Fraser, thanks for joining us. And all the other folks who joined us this morning on FYI for your information. Share that live, guys. Smash that emoji button. And thanks to each and every one of you for joining us. That's going to do it for us at this end this morning. That's going to do it for us. Stay safe, guys. Stay safe wherever you are joining us from. Some of you in the diaspora, some of you are at home here in Ghana, where we're broadcasting from. Some of you joining us from Twitter, LinkedIn, YouTube, Facebook this morning. We are so grateful. Thanks for joining us, each and every one of you. That's going to do it for us at this end. We're going to see you guys back on the podcast. All things being equal, thanks for joining us. That's going to do it for us, guys. That's going to do it for us. Thanks. Thank you so much. Thank you so much for joining us. Good to see you, Laverne, and I see Sharon Alfonso is here as well, and Maxine. Good to see you, Maxine Monroe. Good to see you, and Wanda Hudson, Gail Alicock, Seymour George. Great to see you, folks. Hope you guys have a great start to the week and a great entire week, folks. Laverne, Lawrence James. Good to see you, Lawrence James, Laverne Anne Marie, and all you other folks. Laverne, Harry Chiral, Kelman Prasad. Good to see you guys. Take care. Until we see you later on in the day. Stay safe. Stay safe, guys.